Hiya, it's Saturday morning. It's cold, it's drizzly, it's rainy. I'm sitting in a car waiting for my boys while they do their hockey practice. On the way here, I was chatting to them about some of the things that they were doing in school, and one of it was coding. And one of my boys said, I like it because I can develop my own games, but I don't like the testing because even though it's like playing, I'm actually testing it for glitches so that I can fix it. My other boy pipes up and say, Mom, do you know there are two kind of glitches? One is where it's quite random and you don't know what's happening and it stops you in your game and it's not fun. The second kind is where if you can reproduce it, sometimes it gives you things. So that's called an exploit. So it's things like you crash a barrel and it gives you some loot. And then if you walk around it, the barrel respawns and you can smash it and get more loot again, and you can go on and get lots of money. And the problem is that they like the exploits, they don't like the general glitches. They only like things that gives them a reward at the end. Then we talked about games at school and the fact that the school Wi-Fi blocks all the games. Not all the games, actually, because the boys have found ways around it. So, as an example, sites.google is what the school uses to store pages, and they've found some sites that actually has games that they can play. So that brings me to the topic of testing and why developers and testers shouldn't be the same person. And the reason for that is that testers have a very specific mindset, and that is to find a way to break the system, to exploit. And that's what hackers do because their motivation is trying to crack the system to reach the other side for a very specific reward. And developers don't do that. That's not the mindset they've got. The mindset they've got is, how do I build a system that works? And so that's the reason why I really believe that testers and developers shouldn't be the same people. You should really have your own QA team who thinks like someone who's out there to break the system, to get onto the gaming sites that your school has stopped you from getting to, and just keep doing it until you get your reward. And that's how you implement really good systems, is by having good developers and really really good testers. You can't have one without the other because it it's just not going to work. So that's my thought for this Saturday. Hope you're having a great day. I'm sure my boys are enjoying their hockey practice. It looks like the sun's come out now, so have a great day, everyone, and I'll see you tomorrow. Take care.